All right, so today we're going to talk about needs analysis, but we're going to have a little bit of fun with it. We're going to take a look at it from a training development concept, but we're going to do it from a more personal level because it'll allow us to consider something in our life that we might actually do the needs analysis, and then we can kind of carry these concepts over to uh, needs analysis for training development in an organization or in a business that we're working within. So in this particular environment, I want you to consider that you have bought a property. You bought this lovely property here, lots of acreage, you're very happy, it's big open space and whatnot, but the house leaves a little something to desire. So you're not terribly happy with that house. And so you think, hey, now that I bought it, I'm going to sit there and poll my family and friends and figure out if we can build this house. And we do that. The first thing that we're going to need to do is figure out what our gaps are. So once we see what we've got here, we know we got to think about what comes next, right? We're going to have to demolish this house. We're going to take large swaths right now. We're going to have to dig to put a new house in. We're going to have to lay a foundation, and we're going to have to build that new house. And so once we've kind of gone around and polled our friends, did our initial needs analysis, we're going to find out that, hey, we can't really demolish, dig, or lay foundation because we just don't have the skills. But this seems that we might be able to build. And so we'll do that. We then realize, hey, you know what? Training and development is something we don't want to do for demolishing, for digging, and for foundation. So we outsource that work. We're going to go out and get somebody to actually demolish the house that we have today, get another contractor in to dig the foundation that we're going to use tomorrow, and then essentially have another one roll in and lay the foundation that we want for our new house. But now it's time to build or do the build analysis. Right? So we kind of have this vision of what we want to get out there, and we start to ask those questions again. We go back to a needs analysis and say, now that the work that we cannot do needs to be done, what can we do out of what remains? So we start building a house, we start thinking in large swaths again. We're going to have a specific need related to framing the house. So that's putting up the walls, the exterior, interior walls, and so forth, the doors, etc. We're going to need to consider putting in the flooring. So we're going to have to put in joists. We're going to have to put in supports and whatnot, and then lay down the flat floor that we can put across that'll support our weight. We're going to have to do some plumbing, and we're going to have to do the electrical. And when we poll all of our friends, we find out, hey, you know what? Electrical is the one thing that we don't really have the skill for. So the question now that comes in needs analysis is, if electrical is our gap, is it an entire gap, or is it something we can train ourselves towards? So we find out that somebody in the family has had some electrical experience, and so we might want to do a little bit of work to figure out what that electrical experience looks like and create a bit of a needs analysis around what training might be required to get them to be able to do the electrical part of our project. So essentially at this point, we do our analysis, our research. We gather, we put surveys out, we answer the questions, we do some research online to find out what the requirements are, and we tally all that together, and we analyze the data to determine, hey, what is the research telling us? Where are the gaps that we have? And then we take a look at that gap against our training capabilities to decide, hey, whether or not it is affordable and probable and practical to be able to do that. And then we develop a plan to basically execute that. And if it all makes sense at the end, we can invest in a training and development solution that essentially will deliver against the gaps that we discovered in our needs analysis. And so that's what our needs analysis is really about, is determining what we have now, what the targeted requirement is, what the gaps are, and the plan to be able to get there comes in the next steps of our ISD. So once we have this, we're able to record the plan, we'll be able to figure out how to move forward. Once our training and so forth is executed, we're happy campers because we have our glorious house built by us and our family and friends, and we're going to move in there and relax. All right, and so that's a quick look at needs analysis. Thank you for joining.